Hi Leos, thanks for popping onto my channel. This is going to be your reading for Aries season. Some of it can probably apply to now, a little before Aries season, a little bit after. This reading can be used for your sun, your moon, your rising, or your Venus placements, and also it may be applied to your Vedic sign. If you were born between July 19th and July 25th, you are a Cancer Leo cusp. And if you were born between August 19th and August 25th, you are a Leo Virgo cusp. So if you want to check out the Cancer reading that I did before this one, or the Virgo reading that will be done after this one, you may have messages in those readings as well. Just a reminder that if you have certain planetary placements that are heavy, other aspects can affect your reading. I strongly advise you to check your birth chart and, let me see, for example, say you have 3 planets in Aquarius, then there would be a high likelihood that you would have some message in the Aquarius reading. Let me see. So the moon is currently in, moon is in Sagittarius by the time, I do it. By the time I get this uploaded, it will be in Capricorn. I don't have trouble getting into the energy of Leos at all. I have quite a few placements in Leo in my Vedic and my tropical chart. So we're just going to see what the universe sends out there for you. I'm not done shuffling. When I did the Cancer reading, it was kind of just sporadic, and I didn't shuffle the way I normally did. I didn't pull the cards the way I normally do. You have the Fool. Leo, you have big hearts. Big hearts. And many of you are, there aren't many of you that are introverts. Leos are pretty straightforward. Like they say, you wear your hearts on your sleeve. Your courage, your leaders, your, other, like I said, other aspects in your birth chart can affect these things. So you have the 2 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and Temperance. I feel like this needs to go here. And then you have the 8 of Cups and the Emperor, which this could very well be you. It's usually usually associated with Aries. I associate this card with Aries or Leo. Even though it's a fire sign, I don't usually get Sag off this card. I've never had any sign's energy flip or change as fast as I did. I was getting your kind of vibe. I was kind of getting what was going on, and then flip, boom, everything changed. And since this is a collective reading, it is, well, I'm taking these. It is very likely that it has something to do with everybody being focused on the same thing right now. Cannot be helped, I suppose. But if I am on the right wavelength with you guys here, I'm thinking that you're looking at all this stuff, and I'm gonna take my hair down, it's too tight, and all these people, and you're like, this is some bullshit, right? I know how you are. Okay, you have the Knight of Cups. I guess you could say that. The Knight of Cups. The Star card. It's Aquarius. Eight of Wands. The Hanged Man, who has made his appearance quite frequently in these readings lately. And the Five of Swords. Bottom of the deck, you have the Hierophant. The World card. The Death card. And the Devil. I cannot believe how this came out even more accurate than I even ever imagined. I don't even know where to begin. Okay. So, obviously all this stuff is going on. We can't deny it. Everybody's on the same page with the COVID-19 virus, and people are losing their shit. Most of them. A lot of the Leos aren't. It's just the way that, I don't know, it's your makeup, it's your mentality. You care about people, that's for sure. Your heart definitely goes out to everyone. But you're appalled. You're sitting back and you feel like you're in a movie theater, like just watching something, like these people really just acting like fools, and you're like, oh my god, what is going on here? The two cards that have to do with, let me start here. Okay, so the Ace of Swords, that's clear, concise, logical thinking, but it can be starting something new. These are the two major arcana that are associated with medicine and healing, and with the major arcana here with the World card, we have death. Now the devil came out, but I have two separate things that go with this. The Hierophant, if anybody remembers, usually has to do with marriage or government institutions, church, that kind of thing. I was going to just do a regular collective reading, but I think this wants to come out, so I'm going to put the major... We've got a lot of major arcana. I shuffled this deck. I was listening to the news earlier, and I sat there and I just kept shuffling cards. And yeah, they've been shuffled very well. The Hanged Man could represent just feeling stuck, right? I mean, everybody kind of feels stuck right now. You can't really go anywhere. I'm grouping together the cards because there's another energy coming through here too. Just to let everybody know, yeah, I think I told you guys the moon is in Capricorn. Mercury and Neptune are in Pisces. Venus and Uranus are in Taurus. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are in Capricorn. Chiron is in Aries, and I believe Saturn is about to move into Aquarius in the next day or so. Nothing in your sign. Although, because Saturn is across from you, you may be in this kind of mood where you just don't want anyone to tell you what to do. You know, you're just not into that, anybody bossing you around right now. So, here we have transformation, which is, it's the death card again. And the Eight of Fire, which is the Eight of Wands again. So these are messages, right? It only makes sense that this will come out. The news, the new information about death and messages. However, there is... I'll just get to the point. I won't hold off anymore. A lot of things happen to the psyche of people when they get scared and things start happening. For example, people that have been out of your life for a significant amount of time or what have you, they start thinking about stuff. People are just fearing death. Bottom line, they don't want to get sick, they don't want to die. For the ones who are taking it seriously, you know, if you're the ones that are out there running around on the beach, you probably deserve to get the coronavirus because you're just being stupid. I don't know any other way to put it. And I'm like totally going Leo right now. And for the people that are running into the grocery stores and buying up all the stuff before the elderly people can get there, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. Really. The least you could do is go ask your neighbor, your elderly neighbor, if they need anything. I'm not saying this was you, Leo. I'm just... The Six of Cups is a past Past relationship, somebody from your past. They're thinking about you. They are going to send you messages. Trust that. Maybe more than one of them. I'm not so sure you think very highly of these people. Maybe you do. If they haven't yet, they will. Because for some of you out there, they're coming and they're offering you what they call their second chance, right? Because now they stop and think, well, if anything happens, who's the one person I want to be with? Who is that? Who do I really love? Leos aren't people that others get into relationships with and forget them. As a matter of fact, if you stop and think, you probably are still in contact every couple of months or so for some reason. Maybe even once a year, twice a year. You end up talking to somebody from a past relationship. It's just, they kind of get connected to you in a way. There's something about Leos, they just know how to love people right. Love them the right way. I almost felt like starting this video and saying, are you ready for this? The tarot just backed up what I already knew, alright? The reason I'm telling you this is because it's happening. People are crawling out of the woodwork. They're bugging me. Because you try to stay friendly with them, you know. It's just how you are. You don't really have any reason to hate on people. I mean, even when they do you wrong, you eventually kind of forgive them. But it's just because you're better than that, you know. You don't have time to, or even if you don't forgive them, you just feel like they're just not, they're not worth the energy to, you know, you spend your time grieving, you did your thing, and you moved on. But the one thing about you, Leos, is because of your heart, you always, there's always a part there, maybe hidden, but you're so devoted that you always care for them on some level. I'm getting this picture of the beach in the dusk on the beach. If that means anything to any of you guys, it might indicate the person here. The Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is where it kind of ties in. Well, it does tie in. Let me get the bottom of the deck. Six of Swords, and the Messenger of Fire, and the Ten of Fire. Okay. As we all know, the market has tumbled. We are near a depression, recession, we're in a recession. We are probably going to get very close to a depression. I don't know how in this day and time that could happen, but it looks like it's happening. Someone is coming towards you. They at one point had plenty, well, I don't want to say plenty, but they were trying to make a decision. They were weighing things out on what they thought was best, and now you're heavy on their mind. As a matter of fact, I get this like burning up your messages, burning up your phone. All these little slips of paper are making me think of messages. So, and here we have the call. Now, the Eight of Earth and the Ten of Earth are the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. So it's working. Instability. When this person made the decision, it was a head over heart decision. So think of you being the Leo as the heart, and they're thinking with their head, almost in a sense of material wealth versus love. And a lot of people make those choices. They do. And I can understand it, I guess. My seat of emotions are heavily rooted in like Leo, Virgo placements, so I can understand it, but I can't relate to it, if that makes sense. So now and it's not just your situation, everybody's seeing how quickly material things can fall to the wayside, right? They can just go away. And I mean, what's left? Then you start thinking, what's the most important thing in the world to me? If it's a shame that something like this has to happen for people to start recognizing love. It really is a shame. So, since I've got such a scattered, chaotic mess here, I think I want to reorganize these cards a little bit. And I'll be back in a minute. Leo, we're back. I've organized these differently than I normally do, but I usually do things by the way that I feel like they should be done when I do a reading. And these are, okay, I have them upside down. Some of them are reversed, but we don't want every card to come out reversed, or in this Some bad juju. We don't need that right now. Sometimes I can see other things in the cards, like pick up other stories or see a different scenario, but as I stated before, since the collective, most of their mindset is kind of, we're all on the same page here. And there are good and bad things about that. Fear is not a good energy. Does nothing for the immune system at all. However, it's natural to be scared, because what are we scared of the most? Ultimately, we're scared of death. That's the biggest thing to fear. We're scared for our children, we're scared for our grandparents. It can't be helped. There's nothing we can do about it. The music that's playing in the background is actually a compilation of delta wave energies that are supposed to work on the immune system. Which would be lovely. But there's a lot of thinking on both parts, even if it's not a love situation, about, what's going to happen. There's this wheel of fortune, and then this wheel around the Hierophant's head, and it makes you feel like your future is in the hands of a higher power. It is. Our futures are. It's that way. Again, and I think probably out of all the signs, you're the least afraid. And the Knight of Cups again. Putting all the major arcana here. I've never had this many major arcana come out in one reading since I've started doing tarot like this. Not for a collective reading, but this is, and multiple cards. So we have the Knight of Cups again. This is the person that I told you, be it male or female, that is coming back. Like I said, it may have happened already. The Eight of Wands again with the Knight of Cups again. Messages. It's inevitable. You are, for whatever reason, and I don't know if you know this or not, you're a pretty smart group of people, Leos are, so you probably did know. This person did not make a choice based out of love. They made a choice based on stability, groundedness, and perhaps you weren't where you are now, and that made a difference in their decision. Nobody's going to admit this, right? Nobody's going to say that, oh, I chose money over you. Nobody's going to admit that. Unless you're being completely honest. Or maybe you did this to somebody and you're coming back and saying, oh, I'm sorry, but I do think for a very, very long time, Leo, you thought all these thinking cards. You thought. You just agonized over this person, right? You just thought about him all the time. And I don't think that this is where the universe might not have so much of a role in this. See? Look. I'll show you this in a minute. This is the part where it's going to be up to you, right? This is where you're going to have to make the decision. Do you love them enough that when they come back, or did you think highly enough of them that when they come back, now that you're up to par, so to speak, that you'll take them back? I'm betting that I'm going to go half and half. I'm thinking that some of you will and some of you won't. But it's going to be a hard choice for you. See, look what came out with the Ace of Cups. The Three of Pentacles. 3 people. There's Pentacles, which is money. And a cup. So, if you didn't get the cup, they gave it to the person where their heart was not. I have the Temperance card again. This is more healing. The Temperance to me is, it's balance, it's keeping your calm, it also reminds me of the Star card. These cards just, to me, they kind of scream the same thing, especially here in this reading. And then you have the 7 of Pentacles. So you have the 2 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. Love and money. Love and money. For the love of money. And looking here on the Star again. Page of Wands. The Star card. Again. Kind of get a different message with this Star card. This is, I'm exposing all of my feelings now. Somebody's bringing you a message. See? Well, since you guys have the courage, why don't you just say to them, okay, so why wasn't I good enough for you then? Just flat out ask them. If you don't want to chase them off. Should we stop talking about this person? I didn't intend for this to be a love reading. Oh, wow. Look what they did. I mean, really? 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords. And all of this. Ugh. It made my stomach turn just seeing this. So what are you gonna do? Karma. karma. What goes around comes around, right? Well, that's about what we have for that. You know what's coming. I told you, I can vouch for it. Oh no, it's Armageddon. I better go back to my true love now. Or the one that I love now. Or the one that I let get away now. Or at least I should try to get this person before something happens. You know, everybody's being faced with the reality that something could happen to them. Or they don't want to be alone in the end of time to stand it. You know, that's what they're really thinking. Now, granted, if they're coming to you, yeah, they did care about you. There was something that, yeah, maybe they made a mistake. For some of them, I'm not saying all of them had this material issue, but there's a good chance it was an earth sign. Some air signs, sometimes air signs, because it's head over heart. It probably wasn't a fire sign or a water sign. I'm thinking air or earth, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just going by what. Well, you know I don't like this card. Sneak. Then, the bees always make me think of a new beginning. See, I said some of you, it's good or bad. Good and evil. It's the perils of the world right now. I don't know what this is, but it really come out. And the home. New beginning in the home and heart. Okay, so it looks like there are a lot of you starting relationships here. It's your heart. New. With the old, remember? I always say the moth reminds me of mothballs sometimes. I know that's terrible. But you had the Six of Cups. This is somebody from your past. This is your home and your heart, and you're opening up something new. They're, you know, the oyster is, you see the little sparks coming out. It's opening up. Now, this frustration you're seeing about all this, let me tell you, I was on Facebook earlier, and some of the stuff I was seeing people post, I usually just have to get off there because I get frustrated, but oh my god, people stop posting stuff that's not true. I can't deal with it. I just can't. This is not a time to be, it's not time to be stupid. You don't post stuff that you have no proof of or no scientific data to back it up. You just don't do that stuff to people. Now, on to the next thing that I'm sure you feel because you are Leos, is what the hell is wrong with people? There's people out there running around everywhere. They're not listening. They don't care. That's up there. Well, this is a whole new, this is restarting the cycle. This is, you know, but this is exactly what I was kind of talking about seeing everything. I was like, do you see this stuff? Because I don't understand people. You know, they're going in there, they're buying up all the food, they're running around like they're not supposed to, they're spreading lies, and they do not get it. And then you have these people that are losing their shit because they have to stay home. Monday morning on Fox News, they had mothers on there via Skype or whatever they were on, talking about having to homeschool their kids. And giving advice and giving support, not because they had to homeschool their children, but because they had to be home all day with their children. Now, it's only been about, hasn't been that long since my kids have been out on their own, but there's a huge disconnect from the way things were when I was raising children and to now. Because if you need coping skills and guidance on how to stay home with your children every day, you got a bigger problem. And then my son, my oldest son, he happened to say to me, he said, Mom, he said, this happens. He said, this is just the world's way of controlling the population naturally. He said that, they did it with the Spanish flu. They did it, with the plague. And it's obvious, or it's a very good observation, I'll put it that way. It's so simple. But just consider that maybe I don't dare preach religion to anybody, because it is my opinion that is personal, and whatever gets you by is what is right for you. Do you know how absurd it would be if, say, you were... Okay, well, you'll get this, right? Because Leos are the sun. The corona is the outside part of the sun. And it's very, very hot. And it has the solar winds, and, it's pretty amazing, actually. But just remember back into ancient times when the sun was considered the god. I think it may have been Horus. I don't remember if it was Osiris. I think it was Horus too, because Horus was kind of came from the name Horizon, I think. And then the Vedic religions and the Druids and the Hindus and the Hopi. I mean, you have Stonehenge, you have the pyramids, you have Machu Picchu, you have all these places in history that were built to worship the point towards the sun, because the sun was their god. Now just imagine for a second that corona was the halo of their god. I kind of find a relation between the rings around the planets and then angels. I kind of think, if you go back in history, not that I kind of think, I've actually studied this, I've seen it, that religion has formed from the sky and then the ancient times. And even before, after the Ice Age, the new people that came in, they were called the wisdom bringers. And I think that was after what was considered Atlantis. But just imagine that the corona was, the halo for the god or something. Isn't that kind of messed up, that this virus that could possibly decimate the world would be coming from what is probably God? It has been said that God has been put into the form of a person because that's what people identify with the most. Again, I'm one of those people that believes in something. I know it's out there, and I know that we cannot exist and would not exist without the sun. So, kind of breaks it down for me. But it doesn't matter, it's still a god of some sort. It's a really good book. It's called The Ancient Religion of the Sun. And I want to say the author's last name begins with, it's called The Ancient Religion of the Sun, but I can't remember what her name is. Where is it? It's an excellent book. And so here you are, staying put, grumpy. Yeah, just like watching these idiots. But here comes the communication. You see that? These are my three ultimate communication cards. The Pearl. The Pearl, he's holding it there. It's out. He's going to speak. And then you have the Singer of the Chalice, which is professing love. To me, this is the Knight of Cups. I'm bringing you love. I'm offering you love, or I'm offering you a relationship. Love relationships aside, people are going to be offering all kinds of things out of what I didn't do, what should I do, but like I said, I can tell you, because of my heavy Leo placements and what's been going on with me, that the phone will start to buzz. And there are going to be people, probably maybe more than one, depending on how many relationships you've had. Everybody and their mother's going to be calling you now. You know why? Because you're a good person and you're a kind person. There are no, well, Cancers are pretty nice too. I'm talking about the kind, legit, like kindest, just purest of heart people. And they're all, a lot of them are, but the ones that know how to love, the Leos know how to love. That's why I said you never ever really get rid of relationship people completely. They always come back around. One, 2, 3, 7, 15. There's a lot of neglect going on in the media right now. They need to open up their mouths and maybe give people a little more reassurance. So now it's for me to give you my 2 cents, because you know I will. First, if you have elderly people near you or around you, help them. Do whatever you can, but make sure you're not sick. Don't go out around people, because the younger people are carriers. They shed the virus 100 times faster than the people who are actively sick, and they don't know they're sick. And it doesn't look to me like we have enough tests to test everybody. So if you imagine that there's 3 infected people for every 1 person, that's how you gauge that. There's an equation that the scientists use. The other thing, when this person comes back around and they profess their love or want you back or whatever, it looks like you're going to take them back. For some of you, you don't have to. You're better now than you were then. And if they didn't want you for that, or for the reason, I guess you guys will have to figure it out. But I really want you guys to consider your self-worth, because if this thing goes away, people are going to recoup their money, everything's going to go back to normal, and then are they going to be there then? Right? Do they only want you because they think it's, or that you're, you know? I hope for your sake that it's them realizing that you were the one the whole time, and they come and they tell you that you know, I hope that for you guys. I really do. I myself will probably take the other route. I'm done with that game. Second thing is, if, I mean, the Lion and the Wizard of Oz. He needed courage, right? And it's not to say that there aren't people out there that are scared. I can give you some advice. All right, so obviously everybody can meditate. What I was saying was meditate. I don't know why the camera cut out at that point. It's never cut out at that section before. That was strange. Anyway, I was saying that sometimes it's hard to clear your mind and meditate when stuff like this is going on. So I read audiobooks, or I listen to audiobooks, and I found that the one subject in philosophy that always calmed me was reading the Stoics. Stoicism, I would say Marcus Aurelius, his book Meditations, you can just listen to excerpts from it, and anything by Seneca. You know, their philosophy is a little, I don't want to say twisted, because it makes sense. What you do is you just kind of imagine the worst case scenario. Imagine it in your head, or pretend to make peace with it. This is what's going to happen. But then you picture yourself in that scenario, and you kind of walk yourself through it. But then you're like, yeah, this kind of bites, but I'm okay. So you kind of role play or play out every situation to the worst that it could possibly be. I think I heard somebody say that to wear really dirty, muddy clothes and eat stale bread and drink water from your pet bowl. And this person was obviously exaggerating, but you know, if you had to live like that, if you really had to live like that, could you do it? Would you do it? I don't know the extent that people would go to survive. I don't think this is Armageddon, but I don't know. I mean, look what the Donner Party did. That was disgusting. So it's entirely up to you, I guess, how you cope with it. I can only give you advice. If you're not up to playing out those scenarios in your head and it's a little too intense for you, just listen to it. Just listen to Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. I will link the audiobook in the description, I promise. And as far as the relationship goes, when he comes back or she comes back, it's up to you what you're gonna do. I think I know what I would do. I'd say I'm 97% sure what I think I would do. I don't know. Yeah, I'm about 97% sure that's what I would do if that happened to me. So, almost 100%, which is pretty. Alright, I'll see you guys next month. Bye.